Okay, so I'm making kimchi today, and I'm just going to show you what I've done. So basically you just get a cabbage and just cut it up into fine strips, put it in a big bowl like this, and then we're going to sprinkle in about, in this particular case I'm probably going to use about half a cup of non-iodized salt, and we're just going to toss the salt in. We're just going to keep putting the salt in and just keep tossing the cabbage until the cabbage becomes soft. It'll probably take about 10 minutes of working, so it's a bit intensive, but well, okay, so now having turned the kimchi over with the salt, you can see how it's compacted about down, because the salt seems to draw out, you can probably see some of the moisture. The salt seems to draw out moisture out of the cabbage and soften it, and it all just compacts back down. And the next thing I do is just basically cover it with water and let it sit for about 1 to 2 hours. Now I've got the cabbage covered in with water just to sit with the salt, and that'll just infuse right through it. The other vegetables I'm using are onions, radishes, peppers, and you can just use whatever you want, but I like to have, the thing I like about kimchi is the variety. And then we make a paste using ginger and garlic. I'll probably use half that clove and maybe just a finger of ginger, because it's quite a strong flavour and it'll just spice it all up. And those two together will be mixed together. I'll show you that later, and just put in with a bit of sugar, 2 tablespoons of sugar, just to help things get going, just to start the fermentation process going. Okay, now I've cut up all the ingredients, which is, as you can see, we've got pepper, yellow and red, radish, onion, and put them into that bowl. And I've prepared the garlic ready to cut up, and I have already grated the ginger into a cup. So what I put is the garlic and ginger together, and put in 2 tablespoons of sugar and a half cup of water, and mix them together in this bowl. Now we've got the cabbage, which has been sitting here for a couple of hours, and we're just simply going to pour it into a colander and then just wash it so that we get rid of all the salt out of there. And that's it. We're just washing it, cleaning out the salt, and then we're going to dry it out thoroughly in the colander. Just let it drip drain once we've done that. Next simply is just mix all the veggies together, cabbage and onion and radish and everything, and then we're just pouring in the paste and the ginger, and we're just going to literally just mix everything together. So that's the next step. Next we pack the kimchi into the fermenting jug, and when I say pack, push it down as hard as you can, pack it all in, and then I have the little stones which go on top, just basically to keep the top. And in this case I've put quite a bit of kimchi in there, so it's a bit hard to get them in, but they're basically going in on top, and they will just hold it down while it ferments away. It's not covered with any moisture, which you do with sauerkraut. But we're going to get it in there. And once it's in, the next thing is the lid will go on top, and as you can see it's got a little moat, and that will just sit like that, and that forms a water vapor seal, and then the kimchi will just ferment away for about 2 weeks. And this is the result you get after a couple of weeks. That's all it takes. It's got full of probiotics, and as you can see, all the different veggies in there. It's got quite a pungent smell. I quite like that. As long as it smells sort of a sweet smell, you're okay. But obviously if it's an offensive smell, you don't want to be eating it.